From being almost banned from competitive play to becoming arguably one of the best players in the world,
so many people! That's the Aatrox, damn it!
To now becoming a top laner in which his playstyle struggles have created division amongst his fans in today's meta.
How do you die to Sion?
TheShy has had quite the roller coaster of a career that began all the way back in 2014. His time in the League of Legends spotlight began as a streamer from Team WE and was known for his high elo top lane gameplay, famously playing Nidalee top, but perhaps more notably playing Riven. Even before he would move on to destroy the scene as a professional player, he would decimate opponents and gain recognition with his still iconic move known as the TheShy combo, something that would show his early signs of an aggressive playstyle and immense skill as a player. And for those who may not be entirely familiar with the challenging mechanics of this combo, it goes as follows. E, R1, W, auto, active item, R2, Q, all in around 2 seconds, showing how mechanically capable this young prodigy was. During his time streaming under Team WE, he held a couple of brief stints in Challengers Korea, first with Rebels Anarchy from December 2014 to January 2015, and then with Max from March to April of that same year. And yes, Rebels Anarchy would evolve into the Kwangdong Freaks, who are still playing in the LCK to this day. But after a quiet remaining 2015, TheShy's talents almost got him banned from competitive play entirely in 2016, as during this time it would be revealed that he was playing on his girlfriend's account in order to boost her. This came to light as a result of his girlfriend posting a picture from her account of a 37-3 game as Nidalee, despite the fact that she was a support main. But even though there was understandably public backlash for these actions, TheShy admitted to boosting the account, and since he wasn't doing this for profit, he would ultimately remain competitively eligible, unlike a player such as Dopa. And after this incident, TheShy finally got a shot at professional play after being signed to Invictus Gaming to share playing time with their already existing top laner Duke in 2017. The first tournament for this new roster was the 4-team Jinhua Esports Conference, and after sweeping Royal Club 2-0 in the semifinals, they would go on to win the entire tournament and beating Newbie 3-1 in the finals. And after this tournament, headed into the LPL's 2017 summer season, fans were looking forward to seeing TheShy in official domestic play, and during his first split, he would compete in 16 games total with an 11-5 record in the regular season. While he had a fine performance across the games he played, one champion that especially stood out was his Rumble with a 6-0 record and a KDA of 4.36. And in sharing playing time with Duke, TheShy and IG would place third in Group A of the summer season, and during the summer playoffs would once again place third, beating his former streaming organization, Team WE. In placing third, TheShy would be sent to China's regional finals in search of claiming the region's final world slot, but in a cruel twist of fate, Team WE managed to come back and beat IG in the finals, costing TheShy his first shot at Worlds in his first season ever. But in 2018, him and IG were back, and with them was Jackie Love, a promising young ADC who was finally eligible for competitive play. And while the season began with a close 1-2 loss against RNG, something incredible happened. TheShy and IG would go on one of the longest win streaks a major region has ever seen in competitive leagues. So, without further ado, I present to you the 18-1.
Pick up the series 2-0. They go down in game number 1 to LGD, but they fight back.
And Invictus Gaming completely destroy their competition. And Invictus Gaming cement themselves as the strongest team in the LPL.
During this time, TheShy was absolutely popping off, posting impressive score lines, being a strong asset to the team, and was being praised by the community. And I mean, he even made the LPL All-Pro team for that split as well. And TheShy was of course surrounded by some especially notable talent at that time, such as their ADC Jackie Love and his close friend and mid laner Rookie. IG was easily considered to be a heavy favorite to take home the spring championship, and there seemed to be no stopping them. Until TheShy benched himself. But why? Well, as it turns out, TheShy was suffering a wrist injury and needed surgery on it to prevent the situation from worsening. This meant that he would have to sit out for the entirety of the playoffs, even though IG was guaranteed a slot in the semifinals due to their regular season dominance. And despite my searching for around the better part of an hour or two trying to figure out what caused this injury, it doesn't seem to have been released publicly yet, but some people on Reddit have theorized that was a result of TheShy being pressured to drink, but it is Reddit, so take it as you will. But regardless, with TheShy being injured, Duke would be their top laner for the playoffs, and despite the team's best efforts to rally together against RNG, they would fall 3-2 in the semifinals and then lose their third place match to Rogue Warriors. Now, even though Duke wasn't running it or anything, he was just kind of playing okay, and IG hadn't had much practice with him. Plus, RNG's Uzi was kind of popping off, so that definitely was a factor too. But when TheShy finally returned, IG seemed to get back into their groove during Rift Rivals, as even though he didn't play play especially well after his hiatus, they would ultimately help secure the LPL's victory in the finals. It was a bit of a rocky start back for the Shy, but somehow IG managed to once again go 18-1 the summer split, and once again only dropping their one series to who else but RNG. The Shy was solid once again back on his carry champions and was also of course sharing his playing time with Duke. And once again, IG found themselves seated in the semifinals of the LPL playoffs, and after trading games with JDG, for Game 3 they would switch out Duke with the Shy, who would go on to deliver a dominant performance on Aatrox. And though this momentum wouldn't swing forward into the following game, he still would help IG win this series in a close 5-game bout, sending himself and his team to face off against their seemingly ever-present rivals, RNG. For Game 1, the Shy would try his best to carry his team through his clean Akali assassinations, however the game was ultimately won by RNG. For Game 2, Duke was swapped in, but even still, Uzi's Kai'Sa was simply too strong for IG to handle. Trusted with bringing the team back from the jaws of defeat, the Shy was swapped back in for potentially the team's final game and was able to use his Scion strength to force a Game 4. A Game 4 that he would carry but would win ultimately by a nail-biting JackeyLove backdoor.
RNG, turn onto the Baron. JackeyLove is firing in the backline. One is down, and the Baron, it doesn't even matter anymore.
It's over.
JackeyLove has taken the series into his own hands. He is firing onto the Nexus, and with him, Invictus Gaming will not go quiet. Auto after Auto. He gets it. We've got a Game 5.
However, despite the team's best efforts, IG would fall in Game 5 to RNG, and though they would make Worlds, they would still place second in the LPL, a place that some may argue fell below their expectations. But headed into Worlds, something seemed to click for the Shy. His aggressive playstyle began to evolve from scary to terrifying. And to say that he was playing with zero fear would once again be an understatement, as he began to tear through his competition with some of the best top lane gameplay League has ever seen. It was an easy trip through the group stage, only dropping one game as they traded blows with Fnatic. However, the first round of the bracket stage would prove a challenge for IG, as KT Rolster managed to claw their way back into a series and putting the Shy on the losing end of League's closest competitive base race.
The Shy still in the base. It's KT looking to try to stand and fight if they can. The Shy has made his way onto the inhibitor turret, onto the Nexus turret. They're going to be taken down. KT still marching. It's a base race. The Shy's on the blue Nexus. KT's on the red. Who's going to win? The Shy will not. And KT takes it to Game 4. Holy crap.
But even still, the Shy and IG pushed on, taking the series in 5 games, but arguably the Shy's most well-known play in his entire career lay ahead of him as he went on to face G2 in the semifinals. After having already taken off the first 2 games against G2 in perhaps one of the most iconic professional plays in League history, if you ever want to see the Shy's aggressive playstyle in action, look no further than this classic Aatrox play.
So many people! That's the Aatrox damage, and the Shy makes it happen!
And after stomping G2, the Shy at just 18 years old was not only fighting for his first world championship, but also the LPL's first too. And as I'm sure you've seen many times before, this was the result.
The LPL has never won before, but that will change today! The Crownless are finally king, and Invictus Gaming are your 2018 World Champions!
So the way you'd probably expect this story to go from here is now that the Shy was a world champion, he would be able to translate this impressive gameplay into the regular season. However, there's one important thing that I didn't mention. His arm required surgery, again. And though he normally always has his scars covered with an armband of some sort, there was a recently released photo of this surgery scar, and I don't think I need to describe how serious this was. But even after this surgery, at the beginning of the 2019 season, IG and the Shy were still a solid contender, winning the Demacia Cup, coming in second during the regular season, and breaking the record for the fastest LPL finals ever, ending JDG's miracle run with a brutal 86-minute 3-0. And though the Shy's numbers had dropped some, they were perceived as stabilizing after such an insane Worlds performance. And I mean, after all, the Shy has been known to be very hit or miss, so it does make sense. Plus, at the end of the day, the Shy and IG were headed back to an international tournament in MSI, where they would more than likely put on a strong run.
Smithy's gonna be put to sleep, but Jackie's gonna be put on the ground. Double goes legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid will do it. Haters, be silenced. Expectations, be damned. One of the biggest moments in League of Legends history as Team Liquid take down the reigning world champ.
So now, TheShy was in a tough spot since he had been playing pretty decently well compared to his standards, but IG was beginning to have some struggles as a whole team. Their support Baolun was subbed out for the first 2 weeks of summer following their shocking departure, and star player and TheShy's friend and rookie had to step away for a while too. The team would end up finishing 6th in the regular season, and after an unexpected 3-0 pounding by LNG matched by a less than impressive performance from TheShy, the team managed to only scrape their way into Worlds through the regional finals. Even still, international competition buff came through for TheShy and IG, as in the group stage the team would upset the LCK's 2nd seed Griffin before ultimately being knocked out by eventual world champions and fellow Chinese team FunPlus Phoenix. However, entering 2020, Duke would no longer be on IG's roster as they placed full faith in TheShy, but this is when the already and ever fluctuating public opinion began to turn on this formerly dominant top laner. He had played fine in the regular season and IG had finished 4th, which wasn't too surprising since they had a noticeably shifted roster, but in the mid-season cup, both parties had mediocre performances at best. IG was the only LPL team to be knocked out in the group stage, and TheShy went 2-18-6 in 3 games, and fans were not happy. TheShy had always been very live or die due to his incredibly aggressive playstyle, but during this tournament, having such a miserable scoreline caused public opinion to shift from focusing on his upsides to focusing more on his downsides. This would only be further amplified by IG's finishing 6th in the summer playoffs, once again inciting frustration within their fanbase as their favorite team had missed Worlds. Not to mention that TheShy's aggression had translated into some of the highest average death numbers in the LPL throughout the entire season. And while partaking in a dangerous action known as browsing Reddit, I came across a comment that I think offers a pretty solid conclusion as to why TheShy had such struggles in 2020 and subsequently in 2021. All of this might have worked before, but now he gets punished heavily, especially with Rookie having a rough time and Jackie Love's departure. There's just nobody to cover for him or punish the enemy team when he gets all the attention. And I especially find the part of needing teammates to cover him interesting after he signed with Weibo Gaming in 2022, officially departing from the team that had raised his professional career so far. It seemed for that the first time in a while he was once again getting into form with his performances, and even though he still did run it down sometimes, of course, it seemed that people became more accepting of his playstyle as long as the team could get the results. And even extending into 2023, though Weibo Gaming hasn't had the performance they had hoped for so far, I think that people seeing TheShy as inting once again kind of brings me to what I personally think about his gameplay. He still is an amazing mechanical player, especially at his peaks, however he remains inconsistent. Maybe it has something to do with his injuries that he hasn't been able to return to his 2018 dominance, or maybe it's that the coin was just landing heads more often then. Perhaps opponents have been better at punishing him, or maybe his teammates just haven't worked with his playstyle as well as they used to. And though he isn't a super consistent player, he is still entertaining to watch because at the end of the day, TheShy will always be the Giga Chad, the legendary TheShy. And if you want to be in my 1,000 subscriber Q&A, feel free to drop a question in the Google form below, and yeah, I'll answer it in the next video. But with that being said, thanks for all the recent support. It's been kind of crazy to read all this stuff. It's a little wild, but thanks again, and yeah, hope you have a great rest of your day or night. As always, I'll catch you in the next video. Later.